everyone, so I recently picked up the Discraft Zone GT Battle Pack, and I wanted to give you guys my thoughts on which is going to go into the Discraft lineup for 2024. Now, if you want to get your own battle pack and see what all the hype is about, or just try them for yourselves, please visit GreatLakesDisc.com. Tell them the Cheating Lefty sent you. Use promo code LEFTY at checkout, and you'll save yourself 10%. Now, if you haven't heard of either of the Banger or Ringer GT discs from Discraft, the Banger GT, that has a very unique style groove all the way across the flight plate, something that a lot of disc golfers may not have seen before. Now, typically, if you have an average to larger hand, your thumb is going to fit perfectly right in the middle of that groove, making for a very comfortable backhand grip. For my backhand grip, though, since I have small hands, unfortunately it rests precariously on the edge, so sometimes with my throws, it does have a tendency to slip into the groove. Now for forehand, my standard grip, you would think that groove protruding downward would disrupt it. Surprisingly enough, I don't really notice it when it comes to my standard forehand grip. Also, that top portion of the groove locks my thumb in place. But then also, if you like split finger grips, this is perfect for those split finger grips, and also works very well with just the regular stack power grips. On to the Ringer GT top. That is what I think a lot of disc golfers would recognize right away as kind of your standard thumb track. With my backhand, it fits perfectly just right up against the thumb track and prevents my thumb from slipping. I absolutely love that. For forehand, the thumb track also locks my thumb in place so that way it doesn't slide around, much like how the groove on the Banger GT top does. And then also, since there is no protruding groove on the bottom, it doesn't matter for either for my stacked grip, for a split finger grip, or for the stacked power grip. Any of my forehand grips work perfectly for the Ringer GT top. All right, so I apologize for all you locals who are watching this on the righty point of view because all these holes being switched backwards, probably pretty messed up. All right. Okay. Just in front of the basket. All right, so good shot from the Banger GT, but it was a little bit short of the ace run. To be honest, that grouping of trees straight down the middle, I feel like you have to be off to the side of it. If you really want to have a good chance of the ace, you have to put it out there and just pray that it makes it all the way through. If you try to go down the normal gap, it's going to fall like 10 feet short. All right, so I do think I'm going to try that risky gap. Oh, there's the line. Does it make it through? Whew, praise be to Jesus. It was not high enough, but made it through. All right, so what I think I might try to do is get a couple of putts in with these, just to kind of see, how do they feel putting? How do they compare? I mean, does this Banger GT rim, how different does it feel than the Ringer GT? All right, gonna start with the Ringer GT first on a backhand. It's a little bit cool, so the plastic is a little bit slick. It's about 45 at the moment. Nice out wide, dump in right under the basket. Or hit the very last tree. All right, now for the Banger GT. And I will say, I mentioned a little bit of slickness on the Ringer GT. Because of where that thumb track is, not sure if you can see, I'll try to zoom in. It's actually holding my thumb in place. Even though the plastic in general is a little bit slick, it's actually holding my thumb right there. So that is very nice, better than expected. Threw that a little shorter than the other one. There we go, right under the basket. So just to kind of go over the feel when it comes to the grip for putting, because the Ringer GT does have that nice thumb track to it, it prevents my thumb from like slipping up on the disc. So with my grip, I really do like the Ringer GT when it comes to the putting aspect. Versus with the Banger GT, it puts my thumb way out of position. So I basically almost have to have my thumb right up at the very top of the disc, or I have to just completely change my putting grip altogether. Oh, spitting through. All right, so I'm gonna try to throw forehand as hard as I can, get it up through the gap, maybe a little bit of a baby hyzer at the very end, try to get it within like that 15, 20 feet below the basket. Oh, be long enough. Okay, that's about what I want. All right, and now we'll see what the Ringer GT top can do. Now, if I actually did throw from the end of the T-pad and not from here in the middle, it might actually help my lack of distance. Just saying. Hit that gap. Almost exactly right on the Banger GT. This is probably edge of the circle, maybe just outside circle 1. Get it? Oh. Yeah, uphill putts of a zone. All right, time for a little redemption with the Banger GT top. Ooh. There we go. I still have to put my thumb in it like this. It feels really awkward. All right, so for the last course shots here, I'm going to try to throw it on a turnover, see just how close I can get it to the basket. Like how it held that turn. Oh, okay, I like that flight. That's way short. Well, it's about 15, 20 feet short, but I like the flight. All right, Banger GT top. Let's see if you can hit that same line. Oh, a little bit higher. But literally landed right on top of the Ringer GT. Now, let's go ahead and bring in both the Zone OS and also a regular Z Zone and see how they compare to the Banger and the Ringer GT top zones. When it came to the flight, at least for the shape of the flight, whether it was the Banger GT top, the Ringer GT top, or the regular Z Zone, they all flew more or less exactly the same. So depending on the flight you're looking for, you're not really going to get a lot of difference in terms of the flight. However, when it came to glide, I will say the Banger GT top seemed to have a little bit more glide than the Ringer GT, which just had a little bit more glide than the Zone, the regular Z Zone. And when it came to the Zone OS, I mean, as you can see, that's in a completely different league of its own. Just absolutely more overstable. Okay, so what are my final thoughts on both the Banger GT and Ringer GT top zones? Well, they're both zones. I mean, they fly just like zones. They fly really close to each other. It was eerily just similar, just how close I was putting them next to each other on throws. So yeah, they're both zones. Now to talk about the tops themselves. Starting with the Ringer GT, I mean, this has been done before. It's very familiar. A lot of other companies do this style of thumb track. So for me, it's familiar. I know what to expect. Versus the Banger GT, this top, it's very unique. I don't really know, besides Discraft, I don't know of any other company that does this kind of style of groove, at least not consistently. So it was very unique, very fun. Love trying it out. This was familiar. I knew what to expect. The Banger GT, this surprised me. I was surprised backhand. It actually felt way better backhand than I thought. It wasn't slipping versus the Ringer GT actually was slipping a little bit with this cooler weather. And then on forehands, didn't bother me much at all. And it actually had some really good, just nice, clean releases. My only major complaint is putting. It just, for my tiny hands, it just doesn't fit my grip. I have to completely change my putting grip in order to putt with this thing. And that just felt incredibly awkward. So as like a headwind putter, I would not be using this. But overall, which of the two would I choose? I mean, that's tough, but I'm actually going to have to go with the Banger GT just because throwing, it was just so much fun. I had such a blast throwing it, and I want to keep throwing it. So I hope all of you enjoyed the video. Again, if you want to get yours, if you want to get in and vote on this battle, please use the link down below. Go to greatlakesdisc.com, pick up your battle pack today, and then put videos out there on how you feel. Am I completely wrong? Am I right? You let me know. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video. Thank you all so much for the support. Till next time, everyone, keep banging them chains.